This tutorial video is for 1.3.3 Constraining a Sketch Part 2. Remember, there are 4 parts altogether in this activity. Once again, we're going to start off by going to our data panel. You're going to make sure you are in your Unit 1 project folder. If you don't have Unit 1 open, you click on the house, find your Unit 1 project folder, double click it to open it. You should see your 1.3.3 part 1 that you did previously in here. We're going to go on up to File, click Save. We're going to call this 1.3.3 part 2. Make sure the location says Unit 1 for your project folder and click Save. Now we can close our data panel so we have more room. Make sure that your view cube is in the proper orientation. Go on over to your document settings, change your document settings to millimeters. This entire project will be done in millimeters, so make sure your units are in millimeters. And we're going to go up to Create, New Component, accept everything that is there, and then we'll click OK. Now we want to create a sketch. Going to use our XZ plane once again. Okay. Now, last time we did an 8-sided concave polygon. This time we're going to do this time we're going to do a 10-sided concave polygon. And again, it may not look exactly like mine when you are finished, but that's okay. So I'm just going to make this area a little bit smaller. I'm going to zoom out so I can see it better. Again, we're using our line tool. So I'm going to click on my line tool. I'm going to start on my X plane. So I'm just going to, so let's see, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now it's not perfect, but it's 10-sided and it's concave. Remember, when you connect the last two, if your shape does not get shaded blue, then you are not fully connected. Okay, so then you're going to right click and click OK. Now what we want to do, similar to what we did last time, we want to kind of review the different constraints that are here. Before we do anything with this though, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to do a hand sketch of this in your notebook, including putting the constraints there. And what I would also like you to do is make a connection between the constraints that go together. For example, when I hover over this perpendicular constraint, I can see that the perpendicular constraint on the top line also highlights. So that means they go together. So you need to find a way to show which perpendicular constraints go together. It looks like in this case, all I have is perpendicular and then I have one horizontal. So you do need to draw however yours came out. You're not drawing mine. You are sketching and then you're going to hand sketch your fusion sketch into your notebook. So when you are drawing this, an example of what it might look like would be like this. So this is how you would draw that they go together. Like if you had two perpendiculars on these two lines that went together, you can draw a line, circle and draw a line between them. In this case, it had some parallels that went together. So you draw a line. You're going to have many more. So that is what you are going to do at this point. Once, and you can pause the video so that you can do all those. Once you have finished, you can unpause the video. And then once you have unpaused the video, you've come back, I want you to go ahead and kind of play around with them like we did last time and see what happens, how they interact, how the different lines interact. And I'm going to play around and see what happens. So this is horizontal. Notice it stays horizontal whenever I move it. Okay, perpendicular. Depending on what it's perpendicular to, In this case, we said this is perpendicular to this one, so anytime I move this, it should always stay perpendicular to that top line. This line here, which is 1, 2, 3, is perpendicular to 5. So whenever I move line 3, it should always be perpendicular to 5. This does not have any constraints on it, so it's going to do all kinds of weird stuff. So play around with it. Excuse me. Play around with it a little bit. And then what I want you to do is then go ahead and click Finish Sketch. You have your finished sketch. I want you to go ahead and extrude this again, 5 millimeters. Click OK. And yours is not going to look exactly like mine, and that's okay. And this is what you will upload in Canvas for 1.3.3 Constraining a Sketch Part 2.